Hello again, YouTube. This is Wakeangel2K1 bringing you the final Sonic the Hedgehog toy review for now. You see, after going through the 3-inch line, there's really only one Sonic figure series left that has come out so far, and that is the new version of the 5-inch Sonic and Classic Sonic. Unfortunately, due to space-saving constraints and the fact that the 3-inch ones pretty much satisfied me enough, I never really bought them. However, I do have the super versions. The Super Classic Sonic, or Classic Super Sonic, and my bed is tilted and making this killer stand, and the Modern Super Sonic. Oy vey. Let's take a look at this one at a time, shall we? Okay, let's start with the Modern Super Sonic. First, let's do a quick run through of his articulation. Universal shoulders, universal hips, swivels at the wrists and ankles, head is on a swivel, and he has a waist joint. The waist joint is an improvement over the previous 5-inch figure, which lacked the waist joint. And also the hips, as you can see, are in fact designed to go forward instead of the other one where it went outwards instead. Something that makes this particular 5-inch Sonic better is that he has a bicep swivel and even a knee swivel, which is... wait, I'm just moving the hip there. There we go. See? A knee swivel. Which is actually really cool. So far, only a couple of the Free Riders figures, Wave, Tails, Storm, and Knuckles, those 4, they're the only other Sonic figures that have that level of articulation, and it's really nice to see Sonic has it too, because now he can take stances like, you know, hands on hips, and he can reach up and pick his ear derisively at you. Doot, doot, doot. Okay, perhaps another great thing, although not good for customizing, but good for just for the figure itself, is the head. The first release of these Sonic figures had a big solid head, which was a problem because with how big it is and how far back the spines go, it made the figures extremely top-heavy. The second release, the Sonic Colors re-release, it was basically the same thing, but the spines had been hollowed out. This one is the logical conclusion of that. The entire head is totally hollow. If I was to cut it open, it would only be like a sheet of plastic like this thick. So this is basically a big hollow ball. And I think it's a softer kind of plastic too, because I can, even though it's not warm, I can totally just sort of squish it in my hand. I mean, it's not exactly like a handball, but it is definitely a softer material. I think it's the same kind of plastic that they used to make the urban vinyls. Let's see. Oh yeah, one thing I want to mention is that the Tails Superposer, it also had a head like this. Although there was no reason for the Tails Superposer to have a head like this, because Tails has never had top-heavy issues, since his tails could always be used to balance him. But I think that was just an experiment. You know, they could use it there, and if it didn't work, then it wouldn't cause any troubles. Okay, so that's basically the Modern Super Sonic. Now let's take a look at his brother-in-arms, the Classic Super Sonic. And you can chalk this up for another action figure that I had to wait 20 years. Well, actually, since Classic Super Sonic premiered in Sonic 2, I had to wait more like 19 years to see him. He has black eyes, Although I think in the first game where Sonic did it, the eyes were blue, and by Sonic 3 the eyes were already red, even if they didn't have defined pupils and irises. But still, they left it black so that he looks more like classic Sonic, at least in most people's imaginations. And he basically has all the same articulation as regular Sonic, except he has no knees. The only classic Sonic figure that has knee joints is the 10-inch one, which is a really awesome figure, but I don't have because of space constraints. I only have one 10-inch figure, and it's the Metal Sonic. If I had more room, I would have the modern and classic 10-inch Sonics. Sadly, I don't, so there's no use to lament on that. The only real flaw of the classic Supersonic figure is that he's actually a little bit more top-heavy than his taller brother, which is actually confusing to me. I think since he lacks knee joints, it's hard to get both feet flat on the ground, so that affects his balance a little bit. But also, the copyright information is sort of printed on the inside of his shoe. See, I don't know what that is, like a serial number or something. That shouldn't be there. It should be on the bottom of the shoe, not on the side. But I suppose that's very easy to paint over, so it's not too big an issue. Although the modern one doesn't have that. The modern one's feet are clean. Those numbers are printed on the sole like they should be. So, this has been a long journey, beginning way back for the first figure releases, from the humble origins of a cameo appearance on the Crash and Smash bike, to this, the most recent iteration of the classic Sonic, and the modern Sonic, which is who will be appearing in games for the foreseeable future. Classic, only making a cameo for nostalgia's sake in the 20th anniversary. And I wish I had a stabler stage. But I hope that you have enjoyed this little journey, our quest to understand the evolution of Sonic through the changing toy lines, and how this same character could see so much and change so little in our hearts. If requested, I'll still do toy reviews of the other characters, because I have a ton of Sonic toys that are different. Some of them have gimmicks, and they're not all action figures. And of course, there will always be new figures in the future, but for now, the Sonic the Hedgehog's journey through time is complete at long last. This is Toy Customizer Wakeangel2K1 signing out.